This is Newsdesk. 32 teams, 64 matches, 11 cities. Russia is the place to be for the next 4 weeks. Can Germany retain the trophy and become the first country to win the World Cup back-to-back? Or will Iceland, yes, Iceland, cause an upset? Only time will tell. George and Hans, good to have you.
Yeah,
I'm excited, you
know.
I'm
very excited.
I would have been super excited if Ghana was featured. But anyways, it's okay to have fun, during the period.
It's okay. It's okay.
The pain will be real.
Yeah, and I love the spirit. I love the spirit behind, your lovely intro to all of this. The big question about Iceland.
Yeah. Where's Iceland coming from?
Iceland winning the World Cup is another interesting one, but we can't say anything for now.
I think
Good
that
question about Germany
the exploit that they use, a lot of people have been yearning for yet another big performance in the World Cup from Iceland, but it's an ambition a bit too far,
Do you agree?
I really wish I could say I would love to see Iceland in the semi-final, but no, we're talking about the top and the best 4 teams. The FIFA World Cup. Iceland can once again make us happy, maybe make it to the quarterfinals. I don't think. I'm not sure about that.
Okay, but will Germany be able to win this, or can Germany win this back-to-back, like Real Madrid did with the
like Real Madrid?
Okay, the UEFA Champions League 3 consecutive times.
You see, you would not bet against Germany doing this. Why? It's been difficult to win the World Cup back-to-back, and obviously because in 4 years a lot has changed, or a lot will change in 4 years for any team. If you look at Ghana in 2006, 2010, the team really changes in terms of faces and in terms of the level at which the players were playing. So it's up to defending champions to have a machinery that can produce players or keep the players in there. You realize that the young players of the German national team who won alongside in 2014 seem to have matured at this point, and they seem to have come through with about 2 or 3 layers. Germany, they look really good, like a team that can defend the World Cup trophy. I feel so. They have everything. It's just that this tournament is a very difficult one, and sometimes...
Hans, before you come in, there's this assertion that Germany has really done well with regards to football development, and that even if they scrap the main team, they still have reserve players who can do a good job for them.
Yes. If you have a country that is able to decide that Leroy Sané is not going to be part of the team, it tells you the depth as far as quality is concerned. Now, to win the World Cup back-to-back, essentially this is what must happen. You must have a young team that is able to win the World Cup in a World Cup year, and then it matures to a certain point, not age. Okay, it matures to a point where the players are not way too old to be able to, win it again. And that's the difficulty. If you look at player development, players are hitting their peak around maybe 25 going. And so if you have a bunch of players winning the World Cup, if they're able to do it at around 25. An average age of 25, by the next World Cup, they are 29, they are good to go. And so that's the difficulty. Most of the time, it is not exactly at 25. You have players hitting their peak at maybe 27, 28. By the time the next World Cup comes around,
they're in their 30s.
And then it becomes difficult. Germany, if you look at their team now, the best players from the previous World Cup, even if they are in this setup, are not as good as they were 4 years ago. Yes, they can go out there and win the FIFA World Cup, but that is a difficulty they have to contend with. Any team that comes up against Germany would perform at optimum level, knowing that they are world champions. And so, will Germany be able to replicate the performance from 4 years ago? That is the big question for them. So,
let's talk about star players to look out for. There definitely has to be somebody or a group of players that you're looking out for a certain performance. Many have argued that this is a do or die for Messi and Ronaldo. They've got to move their teams somewhere at least. They've won it all apart from a World Cup. And that's very, important in the life of a footballer.
It comes back to what I was saying. For Ronaldo, it looks as if it's become a bit too late for him. 33 years of age. If the other players around him don't really come to the party and expect that Ronaldo is going to carry the team on the shoulder, I'm sorry. He's not the same player he used to be at the last World Cup. And so that really is a difficulty. For Lionel Messi, again, it comes back to Argentina consistently failing to really perform to expectations, bar the previous World Cup where they unfortunately to lose against Germany. So if these two players are not able to back the World Cup at this tournament,
That's it for them.
But I actually think there's more pressure. There's more pressure on Lionel Messi than Cristiano Ronaldo. After all, Cristiano Ronaldo was able to lead his team to win the Euros. That's fine. So he's able to do something with his national team. Now, Messi has not really done a lot with the national team. And again, please watch out. You cannot blame Messi for Argentina's failure to win a trophy.
No, nobody's saying that.
People have said that a lot. People have said that a lot.
Okay.
And I think that's absolutely unfair. Messi continues to be the Messi in Argentina, continues to be the Messi we see in Barcelona. The difference is his teammates haven't quite carried him along. Because if I take Messi away from all the Argentine performances, they would not probably have even gotten to the final.
Definitely.
He's going to deliver once again. But do they have a system that can stick? Do they have a system that can ensure that they get to win the World Cup by doing the pragmatic things? That has been the problem for them.
But what goes against Messi too is this. Look, the moment you wear the iconic number 10 jersey for Argentina, the comparison with Diego Maradona is different. I'm coming. And so, to the extent that Maradona powers Argentina to win the World Cup in 1986.
And did he do that alone, or he had the complement?
Of course he did. But the point is that he was the main architect.
Yeah.
And so, that comparison is always going to be there. The only reason people still rate Maradona ahead of Lionel Messi has to do with the FIFA World Cup. The only reason people still rate Pelé ahead of Messi is because of the FIFA, or even Maradona is because of the FIFA World Cup. Until Messi wins the FIFA World Cup, that assertion is going to remain that these two players are ahead of him. Look, forget about whatever you are going to play in the Champions League, in the La Liga, or whatever competition. It comes down to the FIFA World Cup for great players. Great players. Emphasis on great. You can be one of the best.
You're not saying that Messi is not a great player. I know what you're saying.
There's greatness and there's greatness.
You see, that's where
there's greatness in Pelé and Maradona, and there's greatness in.
And this argument, I'm sure anybody watching us now, probably wherever they are, they have started the argument where they. Because I feel for Messi.
Yeah.
Messi does everything he must do.
He must win
if Higuain would not score a goal, Messi cannot fly over the pitch. So you see, we have a situation where Messi can end his career without winning a World Cup. That's really in his face now.
It would go against him heavily.
It would go against him, but it does not stop him from being a great player.
Is he a World Cup winner?
See, that's what I don't like at all. That's the part I don't like. And you know, I feel for Messi. Messi's under a lot of pressure.
But you don't feel for Ronaldo.
Ronaldo is fine. You know, you look at Neymar. Neymar has led Brazil to win Olympics. You see. And they have that trophy. But let's win the World Cup, it makes...
For Brazilians, it doesn't make... You can win all the youth trophies, the
Olympics was big,
under 20, the under 17, under 23. You can win all of that.
Senior level, you must win.
Again, if there's comparison, if you're a Brazilian player and you are compared to Pelé, you have to win the World Cup.
And you have to win the World Cup 3 times. No player can do that. Leave Pelé out of this business because no player can do that. Win the World Cup 3 times.
Okay, but there are other key or star players to look out for. One from Africa that stands out is Mo Salah. It's been a good season for him in his club at Liverpool. Couldn't win the Champions League, unfortunately, but he's had a good run.
Yeah.
What should we be seeing from Mo Salah? What should we expect from Mo Salah?
Well, it's just looking again at the Egypt group that has Saudi Arabia and Russia. They should be able to navigate this, I feel. I mean, if there's any team that has a chance of making it to the next stage quite easily, should be Egypt. They should be able to go to the next round. If they're not able to make the next round, I'll be very disappointed. Mohamed Salah, we know, has the injury concerns. He's going to be coming in, hoping to play. Don't put too much pressure on the lad. This is an entirely different team from what we saw in Liverpool. But he's been seen to be carrying the Egyptian team along, as you know, in the qualifiers and all. So Salah will come to the party. A lot of Africans will be looking forward to him. I hope they're able to deliver and make it to the next stage of the competition very much. They are not in a dire situation like Nigeria and the likes.
No, not at all. But I mean, I'm not expecting big things from Mohamed Salah because of the injury. You know, look, whatever injury you have, if you recover from the injury, there's going to be something remaining that will hold you back a bit. At the very least, mentally, psychologically, something will register. And so I don't expect the same performance. As to how the coach will be able to get the best out of him, get the fear out of his head, and get him to perform at optimum level is the real challenge. But I also agree, I expect Egypt to be able to get out of their group. Sadio Mane is another player that we should be taking a look at. First FIFA World Cup. Yes, I mean, we saw El Hadji Diouf inspire Senegal in 2002. Senegal fans will be expecting the same level of performance from Sadio Mane. Also, in terms of the African representation, the team I expect to carry Africa through at this tournament is Morocco. People are not paying attention. This is a team that conceded a single goal in qualifying. It's a team that is coached by a coach that has dominated.
You've just jumped the gun because I was going to ask about teams that may cause an upset or teams that we're not paying attention. No. I mean generally.
Okay. Yeah.
So we're looking at Morocco, but you don't agree with him.
But I don't agree with Morocco. You know why I'm saying that? I agree that Morocco is a fantastic team. But yet again, look
coached by a fantastic coach.
Fantastic coach, excellent. That's Africa standards. But look at the group. We've got Portugal and Spain out of this already. I'm so sad.
Do I think Portugal is overrated?
No, yes. I don't. No, I'm sad.
I think Portugal is overrated.
You see, and that's why I'm sad for Morocco and Nigeria. Sorry, strangely, because I think in the Nigeria group, the Croatia-Argentina bit is probably heavy for them. If they can't win the first game on Saturday, they're in trouble. And you know, like Morocco, fantastic team. They're in trouble.
Okay,
and like Senegal have Poland and Colombia.
So would you be surprised if they cause an upset?
Yeah, I'll be surprised. If Morocco are able to qualify from the group stage to the next stage of the competition, that's a big marker. Then I begin to stand and look again at the team and say, that's a team that came from a group that had Portugal and Spain. If they do that, they're actually going to be knocking out one of Portugal, Spain to qualify for the next stage. That's a big one. I won't be
surprised. I won't be surprised if Morocco are able to make it through. I would rather be surprised if Nigeria are able to go through. You know what? Have you Mascherano said about Nigeria?
Don't say that.
You know what Mascherano said about Nigeria?
Don't say that.
He says Nigeria is so disorganized it affects you. Their disorganization is actually it actually becomes a strength.
It becomes a strength.
It actually affects
you don't know what they're playing.
And I would be surprised if Nigeria are able to get through. The team is loaded with so much talent in Nigeria. But very often for African countries, that becomes a weakness in itself. When you go to tournaments and there are big name players in teams, eventually that becomes our undoing. If you look at the teams that have been able to make it through to the quarterfinals from Africa in the World Cup, there were teams that had question marks in terms of ability over them. In 1990, Roger Milla was what, 40 years? People didn't expect Cameroon to go as far as they did. Ghana's team for the 2010 World Cup didn't have the wow factor, but we got there and we performed. Senegal, everybody expected France to just dismiss them in the opening game. But they beat France. They managed to go past Uruguay only to lose to Turkey. And so I get worried for Nigeria because of the abundance of talent in the team.
Two stars started.
Exactly. I'll be surprised.
I'm even wondering, you see, I'm again, like all the squads that he mentioned, they had something, about them. And when he spoke about the kind of stars they had, I don't even think a Nigerian team has delivered. Victor Moses, yeah, you say he's a star, but I'm wondering, Victor Moses, we've seen him flap the lines a couple of times. You say he's a star in Nigerian team, no problem. Alexi Iwobi is a star as well in Nigeria.
He's a big player.
He's a star, big player, Alexi Iwobi. But when we used to talk about Michael Essien, big player in the world, we knew that. Do you know what I'm saying? When we talk about Diop, we know big player in the world. We knew that. I mean,
so here's the thing.
So are you questioning his assessment of the Nigerian team?
He was a big player in the 2002 FIFA World Cup.
So what I'm saying is that the African teams we have now, for me, maybe apart from Mohamed Salah, even Mohamed Salah, question marks, didn't win anything. The season ended without a trophy. Mohamed Sadio Mane didn't win anything at the end of the season. You know what I'm saying? So I can't put these African teams anywhere around the great teams you mentioned, 94, 90, 2010 Ghana and all. I really can't see that. Because we had a Samoa Jan who was a proven goal scorer, and the guy will hit the net no matter what. He will miss a penalty at the point, but he will hit the net.
The players that we came to know from Senegal became stars at the World Cup. Before the World Cup, they were not big.
So you expect the Nigeria to become stars?
Kamara wasn't a big player before the 2002 FIFA World Cup. Diop wasn't a big player before the 2002 FIFA World Cup. He actually moved to a big club after the 2002 FIFA World Cup.
So I like that. So they will become stars. These players are established.
Victor Moses, Alexi Iwobi, Kelechi Iheanacho, these are established players in the English top
George, but I just want you to know that I'm still going to support Nigeria anyway. So Nigeria.
You were talking about the other teams to look out for.
We are with you, but the other teams to look out for.
But I think Belgium. Why you not talk about Belgium?
Belgium as well.
It's a great team. I think they can win the World Cup.
Why do you say that with that smile on your face?
A lot of talent in the Belgium.
They can win.
Name them.
They can win.
Hazard, Kevin De Bruyne,
Thibaut Courtois, everywhere.
Vincent Kompany.
Vincent Kompany.
Everyone is.
I like the Fellaini with a smile. Hello, Manchester United fan. Okay, well, but that Belgium is great. I think Spain also have a good setup as well, and so
huge spanner through the works for Spain.
Don't forget about France.
France also
great team. So
it definitely is a World Cup to watch, and definitely to listen to. And we have commentary on Joy 99.7. So the opening game is today.
It's today, Russia up against Saudi Arabia.
And that's Nigeria's team. So we have to watch that game carefully. And maybe they should get a draw. And
Nigeria, relax. Nigeria have to play on
Saturday, I know. But I'm just saying that Russia and Saudi Arabia are in our group.
Oh, no, they're not.
They are not in our group?
You have Nigeria, Croatia, Argentina, and Iceland.
Oh, okay. So
but
it's
anyway,
Egypt, Saudi Arabia, Russia.
Yes.
Sorry.
They will have to look at what happens when join the knockout stage. Maybe they can.
You know, in Africa, we like doing a lot of
Nigeria is a cracking group. Okay, so Nigeria gets a draw against Argentina, and then they beat Iceland.
So that's Group A: Russia, Saudi Arabia, Egypt, and Uruguay. That's a really tough one.
Yeah. What do you think about it? Egypt?
Okay. Let's do the permutations for Egypt. So they beat Saudi Arabia, beat Russia, and they are good to go. Maybe lose against
I think
Uruguay.
Egypt and
beat
Uruguay.
Russia home.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
They are capable of beating Russia.
You know, the Russians don't believe in their team anymore.
6 points for Egypt should send them through to the next stage.
It's quite easy for Russia. I mean, looking at the African contingent.
You mean Russia have a problem? They had two of their top strikers injured. So they've got to rely now on Smolov. Smolov is on a great attacker. They've got Samedov, and they've got their old man, Jekov. These are the players up front, Jokayev. They definitely have an issue. Even Saudi Arabia can have a way around Russia. They can give us an upset in today's game. Egypt should be able to account for Russia and Saudi Arabia and qualify alongside Uruguay. This is a great group.
Right.
I'm sure we're going through the other groups, aren't we?
All right, so let's move on quickly to Group B.
Let's check out Group B. Okay, and Hans?
Portugal, Spain, Morocco,
Nice.
and Iran, is it?
That's Hans' beloved Morocco.
This is a very tricky group. You know why? One, because of Iran. People are not paying attention. Iran is coached by Carlos Queiroz, former assistant to Sir Alex Ferguson. Yeah. He is extremely defensive. Extremely defensive. I won't be surprised if they go through all their games, drawing all the games.
Yeah.
The other thing also is Morocco. They are also very, very defensive. If they went through the entire qualifiers conceding one goal, it tells you the sort of team that they are. You have two very attacking-minded teams in Spain and Portugal. And Morocco and Iran could actually become boogie sides for those two teams because of the way they defend. If they get a goal against them, you know, they could actually hold on and get a good result.
And very, very interesting. Let's just see the other groups and see what we have to go. Okay, so
some quick arrivals at the.
All right, so there's France, Australia, Peru, and Denmark. Okay.
Oh yeah.
All
France definitely for me.
This doesn't look like a very difficult group.
Yes, a very difficult group. France is qualifying for me. Easy for France, but we do not know who to choose between Australia and Peru and Denmark.
Well, I think Denmark has a chance. Looking at previous games I've seen, Denmark, yes.
I'll pick Denmark.
Yeah.
I'll pick Denmark. I don't think that Australia would do it for me in this tournament. Well, they are taking
and you're right on Peru as well.
To the tournament.
They're taking what, Team 3?
Team Cahill.
Team Cahill.
The Marquezes and the Jacobs and everybody's in there.
I'm tipping France and Denmark to go.
All right, and this has Argentina, Iceland, your Iceland, Croatia, and yes, this is my team's group. Group D, Nigeria.
So Nigeria have won a trophy in this group already. I mean, the fashion trophy has been taken by Nigeria.
But you see, we could end the
serious business here.
The group standings could remain exactly like this.
Iceland second.
At the end of.
I don't agree.
At the end of the.
I think Nigeria will stay where it could be where they are. But I think Argentina and Croatia.
No, but you can't come onto my show and do that to the team I'm supporting.
I'm actually thinking about how they get to deal with Croatia on Saturday. It will tell us a lot. If they beat Croatia, then they move out from.
I think they can beat Croatia.
I think they can beat Croatia. I think they can beat Iceland.
I think they can actually see.
They can qualify them.
Familiarity. You know, there's a sense of familiarity about Argentina and then Nigeria. You know, they seem to be meeting in every other FIFA World Cup. And so, you know, I would not be surprised if Nigeria is able to account for Argentina. The thing about Argentina is that if you take Messi out,
the team is lost.
The team is lost.
It's gone.
It's not the same
for Barca. Taking the Messi out is the issue.
Take Messi out.
Who's going to handle Messi in the Nigerian team?
Nigeria all the way. All right. So we are disagreeing with you, Josh, that the table will stay this way. Nigeria is going to the top. No, Nigeria is going to the top. All right. The next group has Brazil, Switzerland, Costa Rica, and Serbia. Well, I think Brazil may stay at the top.
Brazil may stay at the top.
I'm tipping Brazil, Costa Rica.
I'm tipping Brazil, Serbia.
I'm not touching any of them. Switzerland, Costa Rica, Serbia. All could be quick. I mean, all could be absolutely.
But for you, Brazil is a must go.
Yes, but
I'll leave the three to
I think
contend.
between Switzerland and Costa Rica, one of them will join Brazil.
It's
Serbia, I don't think will go.
No, we have more.
All right, okay, so there's more to go.
We have to Group F.
Group F.
Yeah, let's check Group F. We've got Group F, we've got Group G, we've got Group H. So Group F there, Germany, Mexico, Sweden.
Oh, this is another tough one.
This is a tough one. Germany goes
So
through.
Germany goes through.
Because
And then
Korea plays some good football, surprisingly.
I won't touch the rest. That's three, I don't know.
And
Germany
Sweden
goes.
also does quite well. And Mexico.
Yeah. So
Okay, so Sweden are going without their talisman, Zlatan Ibrahimovic.
it doesn't make him. They didn't need him in this competition.
Okay, well,
I like how
they
he
did
says it, a talisman.
Yeah, everyone needs a talisman.
They didn't need him.
And Mexico are going with an old man in, Marquez. Of course, Chicharito is also going to be in there. And so Germany goes through. Between Mexico and Sweden, I go for Mexico.
All right, Belgium, Panama, Tunisia, and England.
Tricky.
So
Extremely
wait,
tricky.
why is it? After seeing the group details, I'm wondering why people think England cannot pull through this group.
Belgium will beat England.
I mean, Belgium will qualify. I think England
I
qualifies.
think Belgium will beat England. I think Belgium will top the group. Tunisia,
I think England is second in this group, isn't it?
Charlie.
Yeah. I mean, the rest of the teams have to prove it.
So let me make a huge call. England won't make it out of the group.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, I also don't believe
I
that.
don't believe that. I think they will make it out of this group.
England will make it out of the
Why
group.
do you want to dare England when you have Tunisia and Panama? Really? Is that what you guys don't like England?
They are lions during qualifiers and then they become cats.
No, they've got a working team.
tournament itself.
I think they've got a working team.
Hans has a
Forget about
very
the history.
interesting way of describing
Yeah,
things.
he doesn't like England.
They are lions that in qualifying and then
And cats
suddenly they
during
turn
the
into
World Cup.
cats during major
Well,
final group
there's
then.
the last group
The last
H,
group, yeah.
and that's
Senegal in there, that group.
yeah.
Yep.
Poland, Senegal, Colombia, Japan.
Now this is tricky to the point where I don't know who's going to top this
It's
group. I
very
don't know.
extremely open.
I don't know who's topping this group. I don't know.
I think
It's
Japan will.
really open.
Anyone has a chance in this group.
Okay, so Colombia, I expect them to top the group.
You think so?
Yes, and I think Senegal will go through with them.
Okay, that's fair.
Poland
But I don't know who
and
tops this group because I look at the strength of Senegal, strength of Colombia. Japan could be very academic on the pitch. And Poland is also a great force. They are in and around there.
But you know, these are all predictions based on understanding the teams and how they've played, but really, time will tell. And you see, we've just mapped up all the scores and
No,
everything.
the
We'll
same
start filling.
I'm going for.
Yeah, we'll start filling in the statistics, and I mean, eventually it will all play out. But I'm rooting for Nigeria, die hard for Nigeria.
Omo
All
Niger.
right, yeah,
Okay.
definitely. So it's 3 p.m. today on Joy.
Yeah, 3 p.m. We're starting at 2 p.m. That's the build-up because there's opening ceremony to look forward to, and then we get into the game itself. Russia versus Saudi Arabia, obviously. Yeah, it's great stuff.
All right, so let's still do some sports, guys.
Yeah.
Government has turned to a businessman, Dr. Kofi Amoah, to lead a 5-member committee to oversee football administration in the country as it takes steps to dissolve the Ghana Football Association over, the bribery scandal. Dr. Kofi Amoah will work with President of the Ghana League Clubs Association, that's Galka Kujofianu, 3-time African Player of the Year, Abedi Pele, football legend Reverend Osei Kofi, and a sports journalist and lawyer, Eva Autry. Government has also appointed popular TV presenter Dan Kweku Yeboah as the spokesperson for the committee. George, I don't know what to make of your facial expression, but I do know
He's got issues.
I don't want to say issues, but you took out to social media.
Yes.
You have this disposition. You're just watching.
Yes, I'm watching.
Why that posture?
Yeah, the posture, because I respect everybody on that committee. The problem I had though is that if government was talking about getting new faces, people who have not had issues in the past, then I'm not too sure about what we've got here. And then it took me back to Hans's argument the last time that we cannot truly then import angels to come and run Ghana football.
Exactly.
If that was the case, then I felt that we have dealt with the football people rather harshly, if that's the case, because for all those on this committee, I can also list things that didn't really go well with the stints they had somewhere. There's probably no need to go into it. People have had a lot of banter with me on my social media accounts and all of that.
But
I could go into it. I'm just making the point. That's it. So if you say you want a clean people, these people are not truly clean as it is compared to what we've seen. We can only try to tune our minds to the positives that they bring to this and hope that they can do it. But we must keep in our minds that there's a lot of karma somehow. And I feel we are dealt very harshly with the football people.
Before you come in hands, George, are there any, in your own words, clean people to do this job?
Yes, I thought that we could go truly away with people who had an excellent record. I could mention some names on. You go for Herbert Mensah, you go for Tony Baffle. We have people who still had absolutely very clean records who have not had anything to do with the Ghana Football Association in that respect. We had quite a lot of people like that to do the work, and that's what I thought government was doing. If the argument was we are cleaning up the system and bringing in new faces, if we haven't seen any new faces and those who are here, football people can still complain about them, then we can only at this point just accept that Angels cannot run the Ghana Football Association, and therefore we would have to come back to the clubs at a point, as Hans said it, because even these ones we have, you know, I mean, those we have in this committee cannot be totally, and that's why I say, let me hold on and begin to look at it.
Hans, are we overstretching this matter or process in the sense George puts it, that the 5-member committee now even has issues? Do you think we should just allow them to work?
Should we just allow them to work, or we should look at the personality? I think that it's important also to look at the personality, because if you are getting a set of people out because of certain indiscretions, because they haven't done what is expected of them, and we are bringing in people who themselves have got question marks, then we need to pay attention, because we want to clean up the system. And so if we cannot, you know, vouch for the integrity of the new people coming in, it's pointless. But again, we also need to look at what these people are bringing to the table. I would have been happy to know what exactly they were going to do, you know, in terms of their terms of reference, what government expects of them. I understand that one of them is to deal with FIFA to ensure that Ghana doesn't receive a ban, which in itself surprises me, because we were told, the Attorney General stated in court that government was already in consultation with FIFA and CAF. I've also always wondered that if we wanted to consult with FIFA, do we need a committee to do that? Can we do that through the Ministry for Youth and Sports? But I mean, we've handed them the mandate and they feel that this is the right way to go. For now, I can only say that let's sit back and see what they are. Let's judge them based on the results. Let's assume, turn a blind eye to their sins in the past, whatever they may be. Because you see, one thing I've come to realize is this: football ultimately is going to be run by people who have dealings in the game. Dr. Kofi Amwa was with CAN 2008. Abedi Pele, his history of Ghana football is well documented. What people hold against him is that 31-0 game played by his club, Nani AFC, in 2007 against
and people have started
match fixing,
bringing them back onto social media.
Exactly. But let me put on record that he was cleared, Abedi Pele was cleared by the disciplinary committee of the Ghana Football Association.
Like the same Ghana Football Association.
You believe that this committee
for the purpose of this discussion.
Sure,
yeah, he was cleared, but there was still 31-0.
So we can leave it at that.
No, he was cleared, but it was still 31-0 in few number of minutes. We talk about some 5 minutes when a game could go.
Was he cleared or not?
You say he was cleared.
I mean,
we still have footage.
That's a fact.
That's not good enough anyway.
He was cleared. The ban for his club was upheld. So for Pele, let's leave it at that. Reverend Osei Kofi probably might be the only saint in there, but people are questioning what exactly he brings to the table.
Yeah, why you don't believe?
What exactly he brings to the table? What contribution he's going to make? Again, let's wait. Eva Autry, he was a member of the disciplinary committee of the Ghana Football Association, who didn't deal very well with issues that, in the end, clubs had to resort to going to court to hold up the commencement of the Ghana Premier League. So there are issues with everybody. Once you deal,
has been part of the executive committee and all of that.
Once you deal with football in this country, you'll be tainted, and that's a reality. Ghana football has become like a poison chalice of a sort, and so let's accept what we have now. Let's back them and see the work that they put in, and keep them on their toes and try to get the result. Ultimately, we all want a clean system. We want the development of Ghana football.
The reforms.
We want the game to grow, and we want to get on with football in this country. So let's see what comes out of it. For now, let's just forget about their indiscretions.
I believe they can do the work. I believe they will do something. I'm only saying this because we have moved through the stages of the discussion, and at a point, we made football people look like demons. They never have to come close, because
but they were exactly what they were.
Exactly what they were, right? So when people are referring you to the committee you've got, and that's why that discussion has come up, truly. If government had stuck to it and tried to get new people, it would have saved everything. But as we're saying, we can have angels.
Well, the chairman of Parliament's Youth and Sports Committee, Alex Ajikum, says, just give them a chance. Let's focus on the job that they're doing.
Why is Lawyer Kwekwe Yam not on this committee?
Well, we should be asking government that. All right, okay.
I mean, it's okay. It's okay. Because we said we can have angels.
It's good to have you, but I tip Nigeria to win the World Cup. Who?
Tip to win the World Cup. That's a hit. I think Brazil.
Who am I tipping?
It really caught us unaware, but
all right,
okay, Brazil.
It's a dangerous question, but I'll go for Brazil.
But make sure you tune in at 2 p.m. today, Joy 99.7 FM. George will be giving you live commentary, the opening of Russia 2018.
At least now the announced World Cup is over.
All right, okay. But talking about 2018 events, there's also the National Science and Math Quiz. And it's on Joy News, brought to you by Easeway Savings and Loans. Get in touch with them for business loans, high-yielding savings account, fixed-term investment, and payrolls. Easeway, fast and reliable. It's also supported by Kingdom Books with over 30 years in the stationery business. Kingdom Books and Stationery now offers a 30-day credit facility with no interest charge. We deliver free within Accra, Tema, and surrounding towns. You can contact Kingdom Books on 0302 764101 or 0302 762307 or visit Kingdom Books and Stationery Limited, your number one-stop shop for all office essentials, stationery and furniture. This is News Desk. Stay for business.